Hello Waffle Maniacs and welcome back to the Waffle Shed for this, the last Waffling Offering of 2025. With Christmas on the horizon, I'll be mostly checking back at all the goings on at United Wrestling's Christmas Pun, as well as checking who has made the naughty list this year. And then I'll also be looking ahead to the last United show of the year at the Double Barrel Brewery in Reading, United Divided. But before that, if any United fan is looking to treat themselves before Christmas or for Christmas, or have a United fan in their lives they'd like to treat, can I bring your attention to the United Wrestling Stubbies, which have just arrived. They're available at United shows at the moment, so check out the merch table at Reading, as well as following UW Stubbies on all the social media to find out what's coming up next. The first wave is right here. We've got Neurotoxin, we've got Liam Jones, we've got Captain Our Captain, Arthur Scorrow, the Firestarter Kai Payne's there, and also Chris Aries. In addition, there is Scotty Rawk, but for some reason, he's gone missing. Right, so while the search party is out for Scotty, I know it was you, Claire. Let's crack on with the Christmas Pun Roundup. Mike is back in the ring and picking on Jessica, his last victim at the Tap Social of 2025. Sorry, Jessica, I hope you enjoyed the show enough that you'll come back anyway. Pete is back on the mixed desk, mostly, and Captain Our Captain Arthur Scarrow is back up in the crow's nest with yours truly, and all watched on in match one as the Clash of the Killers finally happened. This one had been a very long time in the making, with former partners and pillar killers, the Abmav Tony Kyle and the Modern Classic Josh Holly, finally facing off. Things had come to a head back at the Tap a little while ago, where, having lost their chance at regaining a #1 contendership for the tag team titles they used to hold, Kyle turned on his ex-colleague and hoofed Holly straight in the berries to dissolve their accord. Now, with the swelling having gone down, Josh is back for some Joshness, and he'll not be the only Josh looking for that tonight. You'd be hard pushed to find anyone at United less popular than Tony Kyle.
The absolute maverick, Tony Kyle!
Especially after he picked on his only fan at Christmas Pun. That's right, the sexy Alsatian, trademark Simon Quest, had very vocal canine support at the Tap Social until old Abmav turned on them. More proof there that you should never meet your heroes. But what of the match itself? Well, the bad blood boiling in Holly's veins meant he was here to hurt his former partner, locking him into various figure four leg locks and screaming, "Kiss my mother!" which Kyle would do anything to break, even manhandling the ref, Josh, in the process. This was very much the theme of the evening, and I encourage United Wrestling Management to get a handle on this. Else we'll get more of what we got here, with the prima zebra of United having to take matters into his own hands to defend himself. But there was very little he could do at the end, with Kyle grabbing and distracting him to hit another low blow on Holly, followed by a Kyle driver for the win. That pretty much cements Tony's place on the naughty list. I'll just make a note. Tony Kyle. Kyle pushed Holly out of the ring, and I guess for him the feud is over. But I'm pretty sure that is not how the Modern Classic feels. And it's certainly not what the Tap faithful want. They want Joshness for Josh. And the other Josh. But maybe, just maybe, we'll get a little something that we want for Christmas. And proof that being on the naughty list has its consequences. United Wrestling Management have gifted to us at United Divided Kyle versus Toxin. This will be a very, very peed off Toxin. Fresh from being shirked by Aluna and then battered by Ollie, what better way to vent her anger than a session of backbreaking with the Pylo's pilot? Match 2, and we have Aluna versus Kai Payne. Or we should have. At Monster Bash 4, Payne was due to face Chris Aries for the #1 contendership to the United Undisputed Championship. That was until...
Kai! Hey, has anyone seen Kai? Kai! Are you down here? Oh, shit! Kai! Someone get help! Kai, can you hear me?
And then who should stroll in? Or, sorry, slither out? But snaky old Aluna. Suspicious? Not much. And then after Aries trounced the troublesome turncoat, United Management set up about to try and sort this out. Sadly, Kai Payne's injuries are so severe that he's actually out of action for the foreseeable future. So it seems that someone got their way. meaning Aluna versus Katie Electra, a massively exciting prospect, except with Kai Payne announced as being at ringside, an angry neurotoxin likely stalking nearby after Una blew the bout with her out in order to take the shot at Aries, and somehow Katie's travel plans being compromised, we had the usual from the Wonderland Rattlesnake. Okay, I'm trying some new stuff out. Not everything's going to hit. A no-show! So, naughty list. Luna. Now, you know, sometimes at Christmas, you'll get that unexpected gift that absolutely blows you away. Well, that's exactly what Christmas Pun Match 2, in actuality, delivered. Making their Tap Social debuts here were Shiro, Payge, and the man of culture, Tig. And they both put in a storming match and a considerable shift in making their debuts. As a man of culture, I guess Tig is kind of at home in such a cultured and learned place as Oxford. It's less cultured and educated than Cambridge, obviously. And the crowd absolutely adored him. Yeah, I know. The chants went up and the smile on Tig's face grew, along with his confidence in the ring. The Shiro had strode into the ring very confidently himself. He was massively peeved to find out that he was facing the class clown across the ring, and even more so when he got caught and kicked into oblivion for the 1-2-3. A surprise result for both these competitors, but I am absolutely sure this is not the last we'll have seen of either of these two at United Wrestling. There's plenty more culture for Tig to take in at Oxford, less in Reading though, right? And having caught up with Shiro backstage, I'm sure he has a return match and revenge on his mind. A real Christmas cracker from these two, so nope, no one on the naughty list. Match 3, the magic number and a triple threat, and a super beast of a match which started with the new United tradition of the heavenly hand wave. Right, he may not have tasted victory at United as yet, but Chris Angel is a firm fan favourite. But could he turn his losing streak around here at the Christmas Pun Show? The odds, as ever, were not in his favour. This time around, he faced not only the man who had doled out his last defeat here at the Tap, in the shape of the jaw rocker Freddie Idol, but also the recently demoted super beast Liam Jones. Having recently lost his unbeaten streak, Jones has been exiled from the title scene by the United boss Pete, who strangely enough chose this opportunity to loiter at the bar instead of up the music like he normally does, and it soon became clear why. When last I spoke to Freddie, he mentioned he was potentially looking for some collaborators, and it seems he wasn't the only one. Having baited Jones about his fall from grace, and then paying for it, Freddie fled and goaded Liam further from outside the ring, where with the help of the United boss, not the boss, he attempted to incapacitate the Super Beast by handcuffing him to a ring post. Not initially a resounding success, Idol did manage to keep Jones out of the action, and looked like he might score a win over Angel for the second time in as many bouts, using unconventional methods. I thought this guy was the jaw rocker, not the nose picker, but Angel managed to turn the tide and give us a little John Cena tribute.
You can't see me!
Before Jones finally managed to re-enter the fray. Disposing of Idol and then targeting and subsequently annihilating Chris Angel, it looked like Jones was back in the groove until the sneaky nose-picking collaborator sprang up and this time made the cuffs work, stealing the win and scarpering quick shot before Liam could get his hands on him. But it isn't Freddie who the Super Beast has his sights set on.
Pete, I don't know what the your problem is. But I'll tell you this, you can go yourself.
The crowd want justice for Liam. I'll add that to the justice for list. Nina, Ref Katie, Josh, that dog from match 1, and Liam. And Pete and Freddie on the naughty list. Mike on the mic wants answers. Pete says he has his reasons, but there is an edge of disharmony at United Wrestling. It is Christmas, so there'll always be family squabbles, but the fallout from this match could have massive repercussions.
Now, if you could just sort your reasons out and play some pissing music, dickhead.
Ouch. It's the Battle of the Tattoos Round 3, with the unification of the Absolute Championship and the Phantomweight Championship in the Scotty Rawk nominated Grimbsy Raw Street Fight, not endorsed in any way by the Grimbsy Tourist Board. Scotty loves a violence party, and that's exactly what he delivered here. His opponent, MJ Grayson, the Phantomweight champion, came to the ring first with a kendo stick in hand, but the dog's bollocks arrived with a staple of every Grimbsy Raw Street Fight. A staple gun. After 2 shots to the head, he then hit him with another, right in the dudleys. This was followed by an absolute volley of abuse from Rawk, who was revelling in the carnage. Debuting Ref Lilith was immediately prepared, wearing gloves from the offset and wary of any shenanigans from Grayson. We didn't exactly get justice for Ref Katie, who got clocked by Grayson last time out, but Lilith made it clear she wasn't going to stand for any nonsense, and even joined in to help Scotty have some extra fun.
Referee! Can you hold his legs? No! Hold him still! Hold him still!
Fun? That's exactly what Rawk had. Chairs, kendo sticks, sofas, beer, fridges, fighting, and even conventional forms of attack. Scotty was not to be denied his fun. That's not to say he got it all his own way. Dropped onto bottle caps and thrown into the steel roller door. The result of this match might have been quite a bit different, but this was a bout by Scotty's rules. Grayson felt the full force of Bin Day, took a trip through a table, and finally tapped out when Scotty brought out his trusty barbed wire skateboard. Up until that point, the Icon of Sin had avoided defeat and the loss of his Phantomweight Championship over several months, but no more. And when approached for comment post-treatment and post-match, he was uncharacteristically quiet. Scotty Rawk is the first 2-belt champ since Chris Aries, but which of the belts will he choose to decommission after the unification? We may find out a United Divided, as the absolute Phantomweight champion is scheduled to face Aluna, well maybe, if she turns up, in a non-title match. And what of his thwarted foe? Grayson is also on the United Divided card, and is due to face Heavenly Chris Angel. That is, if the Icon of Sin has recovered, and if the Heavenly One has somehow been resuscitated yet again. Feel a bit sorry for Grayson, so no, I won't put him on the naughty list. Match 5 saw a return to the tap for not only former crowd favourite and Phantomweight champion Ollie Jackson, but also the return of your favourite author's favourite wrestler, or your favourite wrestler's favourite author, Abby Cartwright. And it is no surprise who the crowd's favourite wrestler and favourite author was in this bout. Having battered Neurotoxin with a chair at Monster Bash 4, Jackson brazenly burst onto the scene and unleashed another heinous act, abusing the crowd and then flat out lying. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, Santa is real. Sorry about that. Just the latest in a growing list of dastardly acts. So is it any wonder that...
Ollie, I bring terrible news from the North Pole.
What did he say? What did he say, Mike?
I've checked the list.
Oh, yeah?
I've checked it twice. I've even checked it 3 times. You're on the naughty list.
That's very bad news for her and for her prospects of getting what she wants for Christmas. Sadly, injury meant that this match ended before Abby could write another chapter in her chronicles, or before Ollie could right her despicable ways, although I'm pretty sure that wasn't going to happen. Hopefully, a speedy recovery means we'll get to see these two face off again in a united ring very, very soon. And I know there's someone else out there who would wish Miss Jackson a swift return to the ring. Neurotoxin. If only so she can send Ollie straight back to the treatment room. And so to the main event of the night, if not the year. Some say this is a match 15 months in the making. Some say a lifetime. Chris Aries watched on from the balcony alongside Sunset Skip way back at United Day 6 as Mark Haskins took on Danny Black. And at that point knew this was his destiny. And like a man driven, every time destiny eluded him, he dusted himself off and went back at it. Mark Haskins, the undefeated, undisputed United champion, had previously said he didn't even know know who Aries was, and that he could join the queue with all the other also-rans and be taken down along with them one by one. But this time it seemed Haskins knew who he was facing, and for once Aries seemed to have the edge over him. Not Haskins' usual bravado before the bell, but a wariness. Haskins was in the Legion King's house with a rabid crowd hailing Aries' every move. Make no mistake, Haskins was not holding back, but Aries was not to be denied on this night, leaping and kicking like never before and drawing his destiny nearer, with at one point both Titans taking each other down simultaneously. The match then took a decisive turn. Perhaps sensing defeat, Haskins became desperate, dragging the already shaken ref Josh into a kick from Aries and then attempting to use his belt, to gain the advantage while he had the chance. Threatened with disqualification, the champ then assaulted the retreating ref once again. Aries, however, managed to avoid getting clouted with the title and applied a few special finishing touches to end Haskins' undefeated streak. Call it what you will. Redemption, justice, but not for Josh or destiny. Chris Aries is back at the top of the United Mountain with a shiny new prize. After 8 years, the United Wrestling Championship is no more. Aries is now the third two-time title holder, along with Josh Folds and Artemis, but he is the inaugural United Wrestling World Champion. The tap crowd went insane at this upgrade and for their returning champion. All is again right in the United world. But we still have some looking ahead to do. I think I've mentioned 4 of the 6 announced matches for United Divided already, but none of those so far have involved our new world champion. Who will he be facing? Well, to be honest, I'm not sure as yet. He's on the bill, but his opponent has chosen to stay under the radar. I've been glued to social media, and all I can find out so far is that this opponent has previously contested for the title. So it's time to dive back into your memory banks, folks. If you look hard enough, the truth is out there. And the other match on the bill? That is also for a world title, or should I say, titles. The Robros, the United Wrestling World Tag Team Champions, are back, and they're facing a truly tough test before the Christmas festivities can begin. CPF are coming to United in the shape of Joe Lando and Danny Black, and everyone knows that could well spell a not very Merry Christmas and a very unhappy New Year for our champs. The outcome of this isn't certain, but one certainty is this match will make a very, very late bid for match of the year. And that's your lot for this year. I'm off to see if I can find Scotty and get a little bit warmer. I'll see you at the Double Barrel Brewery where there's still space on the naughty list, or in the new year, as this is the last waffle of 2025. Look out for some very special shows in the new year with our 2025 roundups. Until then, a very festive SITKWTWO.